Growing up, I absolutely loved the Washington Capitals. I mean, you had a young Alex Ovechkin who, truthfully, was one of the most fun athletes in all of sports to watch, and you had a team that had Backstrom, there was Mike Green with the big slap shot, there was always a good, fun supporting cast around Ovechkin. Like, they weren't as much of superstars as him. Obviously, he takes the spotlight from whoever, but still some very good players, and it seemed like even though it was so tough for the Capitals to get over the hump and beat Pittsburgh and eventually get that cup, every year they were good, and it seemed like their window for contention was never ending, and it was honestly awesome to see that the Caps were good every single year and had a chance to win. But one thing I really wanted to be cautious of growing up was that, hey, this is more than just Alex Ovechkin. Yes, he's the star player. Yes, he's the face of the franchise. Hey, he was arguably the face of the league with Crosby for many years. It's more than just Ovi. The Caps are a team. I like the team. I like the other players that are on that roster as well. And one thing I've noticed is the Caps have really started their fall from grace ever since they won the Stanley Cup. I mean, they haven't won a round since they won that cup in 2018 and just missed the playoffs. It was not a fun team to watch. It was not pretty in any sense of the imagination for the Washington Capitals this season. And with an aging core, I mean, look, you've got guys like Nicholas Backstrom, who's 35, Kuznetsov is 31, and he apparently wants out. TJ Oshie's 36 years old, Ovechkin's 37. Like, this is not a young roster in the slightest. Even Tom Wilson is bordering 30 right now. So I worry that as the core keeps getting older and maybe the team keeps slipping and slipping, that the franchise is going to solely exist for the next few years to serve Alex Ovechkin breaking the Gretzky record. That's like what the franchise is going to be, is, hey, look at us. What do you think of when you think of us? You think of Ovi and breaking the Gretzky record. That's what we're here for. And I hope I'm wrong here. I really do. But I could definitely see a world here where this team is perpetually mediocre or constantly missing the playoffs, but it doesn't matter because Ovi's so close to that record. But it's just like, I mean, before I named all those players on the Caps roster, how many of you do you think would have been able to name more than like 5 guys on the Washington Capitals? And it doesn't have to be that way. Obviously, you've got Ovi who you can rely on for consistent offense. You've got a number one defenseman in John Carlson, even though he's getting a little long in the tooth. You've got good goaltending with Darcy Kemper, and you've got really good trade chips. Guys like Kuznetsov and Anthony Mantha, who are heavily rumored to be on their way out of town. You could get some really good retool pieces for that. That's why, especially with the contract that Ovechkin signed a couple of years ago, I mean, it does look like he signed it to be like, hey, yeah, I want to break the Gretzky record, but still, why not make this team a contender again? Give Ovi 1 or 2 last cracks at the can to go for another championship. And look, I won't lie to you, it's going to be tough with contracts like Nicholas Backstrom and TJ Oshie on the team, but maybe they can still give you some quality minutes and some good offense, hopefully. I mean, those are 2 guys who really have slipped. And it's not their fault. I mean, Backstrom had that really serious injury. Oshie's just kind of declining as he's getting older. They also got to figure out what they want to do with Tom Wilson. If that's not a guy that they can see themselves keeping moving forward, they could definitely get good value for him on the open market. And something like the Rasmus Sandin trade, which I actually really love from a Capitals perspective, that they went and snagged this young, mobile, skilled 23-year-old defenseman from Toronto. So that's encouraging, and they definitely need to make more moves like that. Like, that's the type of trade that needs to go down in Washington to keep this window open, but they got to make a bunch of them because they've got some albatross boat anchor contracts over there. They got to switch things up, man. They've got to get younger, they've got to get faster, and they've got to get more skilled. Because look, I want Ovi to hit that record more than anything. Obviously, I want to see NHL history be made. But also, I don't want the Capitals to be bad or mediocre for that entire run while Ovi's chasing that record. I want them to stay the Capitals that I remember watching in the 2000s and early 2010s, the ones that were a juggernaut going to the playoffs every time. So hopefully they can screw it on straight. They could get it done here. I want the Capitals to be competitive next season. Let's see what they do. Let me know in the comments down below what you think they should do. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.